today. Hey, today is Thursday. Are you ready? I said, hey. Hey, today is Thursday.
First friends, then wives,
Now moms. Hey, today.
follow us on our journey.
Hey, today. Hey, today is Thursday. Are you ready? I said, hey. Hey, today is Thursday.
Trey Fresh killing the beat. Trey Fresh killing the beat. Trey Fresh killing the beat.
Hey guys, welcome back to My Mayhem. It's me, Jasmine
and Tuzday. Thank you so much for tuning in to My Mayhem. Make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Like this video.
Comment below.
Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're always in the know when we drop a video.
Yes, yes, yes. Today's video is on a topic that all boy moms have to consider. I mean, both Jasmine and I are mothers of beautiful baby boys. And with that came a responsibility on the circumcision decision. Jasmine and I will be going through just some pros and cons on what circumcision is and how we came about making our decision for our sons. For the people who do not know what circumcision even is, it is the surgical removal of foreskin off of the penis. So the foreskin is the skin that covers the penis at the tip.
And did you know that the first circumcision dated back all the way back to 3000 BC? And by the 20th century, circumcision was mainstream by English-speaking countries. In the United States, rates have fallen from 64% in 1979 to just as low as 58% in 2010.
That just gave you a little bit of the history on circumcision, how long it's been going on, and how it's been faring in the United States. Now we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons that you can consider while making this decision. So I guess I'll start with the pros. You go with that? Okay. Some of the pros for circumcision are, some people feel like it's just more aesthetically pleasing. It is also said to help maintain a good genital hygiene. Some believe that the extra and additive foreskin makes it hard to clean.
So, don't you think that if the skin was there, it's meant to be there and you shouldn't take it away? And you can clean your penis with the skin there. You just have to be a little bit more cautious when cleaning, and you know, it has to be more thorough, like I say.
Circumcision also decreases the risk of urinary tract infections in infants.
Now, I can't say anything about that. My little one here hasn't had to deal with any urinary tract infections.
Yeah, so I mean, you can get urinary tract infections whether
or not you're circumcised or not.
But the jury is still out on whether it reduces the risk. So it doesn't say that it's going to stop it all the way. It just says that it's going to reduce the risk.
Has T3 had any
No. I've actually never heard of a baby have a urinary, but I know it happens.
I have a little girl.
Okay.
But
okay.
Never a little boy that I've known.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows, but that's one of the pros. There's also a likely decrease in risk of penile cancer. So I've never personally known anyone with penile cancer, but it does decrease the risk to be circumcised.
Interesting.
And also it reduces risk of contracting STDs.
Now, on that as well, you have to be thorough in cleaning your penis, period.
Well, yeah,
whether
and you have to be
circumcised or uncircumcised.
Yes.
So,
and you have to do your due diligence to protect yourself, whether you're circumcised or not. But they just say that it decreases the risk.
Yeah.
But
I could see why, you know, if you have that extra skin, you have to get in those folds and you have to clean it, so you have to be thorough.
I like the thought of decreasing increasing risk of certain things. Like,
Yes.
whether you clean it or not. I mean, I just like the thought of.
I hope.
I hope you can. I just mean
Mamas,
like whether.
I mean, I know your babies are young right now,
Yeah.
and this is not something that you have to worry about right now while they're young.
Yeah.
Is, you know, pulling the skin back and cleaning it. It self cleans itself right now. You just use regular soap and water, and when they hit puberty, your doctor will let you know when your child can.
And even as a child who is circumcised, there are still measures that you have to take to clean it properly. There are still, because it's a smaller version of like a grown man penis, there's still skin that needs to be pulled back just a little bit to get that fold. But I can only imagine.
And that's while being circumcised?
That's being circumcised. So I can only imagine if you're not. I mean, that's like a serious, like, pull that sucker back and clean it, right? Okay, yeah. So, moral of the story is clean it good. When I was pregnant and I found out I was having a baby, they have a Netflix documentary that talked about circumcision and talked about what it was about and what it's doing and how people are feeling. Everyone is passionate, I'll say that. The enthusiasts are extremely passionate about the fact that you have to get your baby circumcised, you have to get your baby circumcised. However, those who are opposing are very passionate about opposing it. So it's like, you're just doing this, you're just doing this. And one of the things that was said on the con side of things is that it is very painful to the baby. So they did talk about there were some healthcare providers that were interviewed that talked about doing circumcisions and how terrible they felt because the baby was crying. And regardless, when you sign your baby up to get circumcised, they tell you that we're gonna numb it, they're not gonna be able to feel anything. Well, she was sitting there saying they feel it. Trust me when I tell you they feel it, and they are crying.
You have to feel that pressure.
Yeah.
No matter, because they put just like some topical antiseptic or whatever you call it.
And so when you go in, they tell you that if you hear the baby crying, it's not from pain, it's from discomfort. And so but there was a woman, there was a woman on there that was like almost nearly in tears talking about how terrible she felt having to do that to a baby.
I would too. I mean, who am I to make that decision? That is a lifelong decision for my son. And I mean, it all comes to your preference, your religious background, your beliefs.
Yeah.
Some people do it when they're older. Some people do it after so many weeks, so many months, so many years. It's your choice.
Which that's quite scary to me. So but the thought of them having to go as adults to get skin cut off of their penis. I mean, I went to school with a boy who got circumcised
at that age
in middle school. Wow. And he was horrified. So I kind of look at circumcision like getting your ears pierced. Like, why put your baby through it when he or she can feel it? Like, remember it, like, and remember that pain. I just wanted to get it done as soon as possible so that he could just move on with life, because the thought of him having to do that later on in age is kind of like one of those things, like either you're gonna do it or you're not. Another topic that they did bring up in the documentary was pleasure centers. And I know that babies, we're not even thinking about pleasure centers on babies. I'm talking about long-term care for their penis, because this is a lifelong decision. This is not something that they can take back later. They can't get their foreskin back later. So this is like, you have to just consider what they'll be dealing with throughout life. The same way we're talking about preventing STDs. Yes. Like, of course, they're not going to get it now, but this is something that, that will prevent it happening long term. So anyway, pleasure centers. So they said on the documentary that the male penis has all of these different pleasure centers, and most of them are in the foreskin. And so in removing the foreskin, you are removing a vast majority of their pleasure centers and kind of depriving them of reaching like optimal pleasure.
And I also read that in an article that that's where they get most of their lubrication from. So when you cut that foreskin, of course it's exposed, so it's drier. So naturally the foreskin gives it that lubrication that it needs.
Okay. It's a weird thing to discuss.
I mean, because these are our baby boys, and we don't want to have to think about that.
None of that.
One day
they'll be like, "Mom, screw you for not getting it done," or "Screw you for getting it done." So, like, it is our decision because it's something that we're deciding early on in their lives about them. Another thing that the documentary talked about was how women are not treated the same. So like I know in some parts of Africa and other countries, they do things to the female organs. Yeah, I mean,
couldn't imagine.
Yeah, they do things to the female organs for one reason or another. But the whole thing is that in America, we do not sew anything, cut anything, it doesn't matter aesthetically what it looks like. It doesn't matter. We don't do anything to the female organ. And so part of the discussion was, why are we cutting and doing things to a baby boy? Why? So that was also a concern. And you know, as a parent, you're gonna always do what's best for your kid, what you think is best for your child. So we just wanted to help you get some of the facts and
just help you make that decision.
Yeah,
if you're pregnant now and you haven't made the decision, it all comes up to preference. It's not something that you have to do. You just have to be more thorough if you're not. And you still have to be thorough if you are. Yeah,
we're just giving you some food for thought. Also, cost is also a thing.
And that's another reason why the numbers were dropping in that time, because a lot of moms could not afford it, and it wasn't covered by the insurance.
It is not covered by the insurance.
Because I know that you had to go to a different hospital, right?
Yeah, the hospital where I gave birth. See, some hospitals will do it right there. Where I gave birth, they do not do circumcision. So but they do recommend people, and they do outsource. So we did have to go outsource. But yeah,
how many days later?
Well, you have to wait until you're out of the hospital, and then even then you have to make an appointment.
So it was about a week.
So it was about a week or so, and he got it done. But yeah, it's not covered and it's not cheap. I mean, when you just think about like an extra almost $200 just laying around, like, hey, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it wasn't as good as not having to pay anything, which I would have preferred. Your insurance will cover it if it is deemed medically necessary. And so I did talk to the doctor, because I'm like, what is medically necessary? The fact that I want it? Because that should be medically necessary. And when they mean medically necessary, they mean medically necessary. They're not going to do it just because by choice you want it. It has to be something wrong, something that is disfigured, something that needs to be fixed, and then they will consider covering it, but it's very hard to do. So
but now you can see why some moms don't do it, because it's not something that they want to pay extra for. So being a mom, I didn't really feel like it was up to me to really make that decision, so I let his dad make the decision.
We both ultimately let the fathers make the decision, because honestly, I didn't feel strongly about it either way. And so I think that men feel more strongly about this situation with their sons than women do. Well, for us, Yeah, like I didn't care either way. If he was passionate about no, we're not gonna do it, then we wouldn't have done it.
We wouldn't have did it.
Yeah, if he was passionate about he has to, then we would have done it. So
we would have did it.
yeah, so ultimately we both passed that decision along.
Pass the baton to you, Dad.
Yes, we passed the baton, and our kids are doing great. Circumcised or not, they're doing great. So hey, and your kid will do great, but this is something that you have to give some thought. So hopefully we gave you some food for thought in how you're going to come around to making that decision. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you comment below if you have any questions.
Yes.
Or if you want to just drop
a pro or con.
A pro or con.
Yes. Yes, please let us know how you feel about the situation, because as I said before, everybody's passionate. Everyone is passionate about it, whether they're for it or against it. Everyone has very strong views, and we want to hear from you. So please, please, please make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Make sure you hit that like button.
And comment below.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're always in the know when we drop a video.
Yes, thank you so much for listening, and until next time,
peace.